Alright, hi guys, we're here back at Kent Ridge today, different day, second day of the weekend. We just rode Jungle Cross on Friday, followed by Bukit Timah and a few other bits in the central catchment yesterday. The weather conditions were kind of wet early in the morning, but they've improved since then. We are here now in the afternoon, a hot dry day, and it's a perfect way to actually test out the Privateer 161 which we have over here. So I think now that the bike is clean, after the past 2 days of really dirty conditions in Jungle Cross and BT, I think it's a great time to just look at the bike. So we just start from the front of the bike to the back of the bike. Okay, later on, as part of the riding over here in Kent Ridge, we'll be doing back-to-back comparisons of the Privateer 161, which is our demo bike today, versus the bike which I currently ride, which is the Yeti SB150. Alright, so let's take a closer look at the bike now. So the best way we can actually look at the bike is from front to back. Okay, so just check out the bike and we'll see what are some of the standout components. So straight away we can see that the front tire, really beefy Michelin tires, Wild Enduros. These come with the Magic X compound. These are 2.4s. They have really large spikes over here. You can see there's almost like a mud spike. I really found these tires stood out during the riding at Jungle Cross. Okay, so the first big plus for this particular build, the component spec from the get-go is really top-notch, and as we go through the rest of the bike, you know, starting from the front tire all the way to the back tire, you'll see what I'm on about. Okay, so we can't go past this view without also talking about the RockShox Lyric Ultimate, which comes spec with the bike. This is currently set at 170 travel. This is the top of the line fork in the Lyric range from RockShox. It's currently set at 170 with a shock whiz. So Whelan has a shock whiz installed. I haven't used it yet. I'm not intending to today. But really nice setup here. It's set up for a rider of 80 kilos. I'm a bit lighter than 80 kilos, but I haven't touched any of the settings yet. As an air shock, I might just leave it as it is. I'm not going to take out too much air. It did feel a little bit harsh the previous 2 days of riding, so we shall see whether it's appropriate for what we're doing today at Kent Ridge. The rest of the build, okay, we have race face alloy bars here. These are cut to 760. The race face FX stem, I think that's possibly like a 40 or 50 mil stem. Magura MT5 brakes. Speaking of which, we have 200 mil rotos on the front and 180 on the rear. We'll have a look at the rear later. They feel a bit rough when you are applying the brakes hard though, so that's something I'm not quite used to yet compared to the Shimano XTRs which I've been using. 1-up remote shifter that pairs to a 1-up 180 mil dropper seat post. We'll talk about the dropper post in a bit. And Diore XT shifter. Okay, this shifter is pretty nice, so it allows you to actually do like double shifts that way. You see, when you go to a harder gear. Okay, that and the XTR shifter in the range are able to do that. Whereas the rest of the bike, as you will see in a bit, is SLX. Okay, so as I mentioned, it's a SLX drivetrain. We have crankset. What we have here, 32 tooth. There's 12 speed on the back. You can see it's kind of rusty. I was actually quite surprised at the condition of the chain. I'm not sure what happened to the chain here, but it's not a bad thing. It's just something that's more of a maintenance issue. You know, maybe what it needs is a brand new chain. Let's look a little bit about the shock. So the RockShox Super Deluxe Ultimate over here, you can see it's a trunnion shock. I currently have it set at 30% sag, which is just nice. You can see the space between the piggyback and this enduro strap that I have here. This is the granite design strap. I can only put a inner tube down here. If I put a lever and maybe a CO2 cartridge and inflator there, what will happen is that as the shock cycles through its travel, the piggyback will actually hit the extra gear which I have stored down here. You know, otherwise, this is actually a really nice place to store stuff for enduro style events, you know, where you want to have as many things as possible on the bike and as little things as possible in your backpack. So the water bottle cage is another thing which I thought was quite peculiar. So when the shock cycles through its travel, I'll just quickly show you. This knob has a tendency to knock the water bottle cage, or not the water bottle actually, it actually knocks the water bottle out of position. So I'll quickly show you. So I'm just going to wedge the water bottle in there, and you can actually see how near the water bottle goes to the knob over here. So we're going to go to try to push the bike in and let the shock actually move forward. You can see what happens over there. You can see how this shock is actually knocking the water bottle out of position. So on a heavy water bottle, it's not so much a thing, but you see how that shock pushes the water bottle out of position. If it was an empty water bottle, it would have much more stark effect. And what will happen is that I've actually lost the water bottle while riding. So I actually had to go back and pick up the water bottle when I was out riding at Bukit Timah yesterday. So I'm not quite certain of the design. Maybe the water bottle cage should be positioned a bit slightly higher. There is also a frame pump mount over there. So without the frame pump mount, maybe the water bottle will sit a bit closer to the frame. I'm not sure. But overall, kind of a funky design. I'm not quite certain about that yet. We see external routing for most parts of the bike. There's a routing, there it goes underneath. We can actually see a bit of internal routing for the shifter over here. The brake line stays external all the way to the back there. That's the 180 rotor. I need to talk about the rims actually, now that we are coming to the back of the bike. So we have Hunt Enduro Ride rims. These are like, I think they're 33mm internal. Interesting build that Privateer have done. They've done a 32 spoke wheel on the front and a 36 spoke on the rear. Okay, which brings me to the rear tire. Slightly smaller knobs for the Michelin Wow Enduro rear. So it is a rear wheel specific tread. Different kind of compound, obviously. Getting used to that. What else is there? Yeah, I think overall a very nice build kit. You know, I like the tires. I definitely like the suspension. As I mentioned earlier, we have this 180 dropper post. You can see a large amount of insertion over there. And the finishing kit for this is really nice. We see like components from fabric, like the saddle over here, as well as the grips. These grips have a really nice ripped texture, so really comfortable even without gloves. So I think the most surprising thing you will find out is actually the price of this bike. So the price of this bike, as I was told by Whelan, is 4,600 Sing dollars. That was while shipping was still free of charge. So now, of course, Privateer, which you can buy from directly, they do charge for shipping now. It wasn't the case about 6 months ago. But now this bike, that's a whole bike, 4,600, and that includes stuff like the Lyric Ultimate, the Deluxe Ultimate, and all that. So I think for 4.6k, it's a really good build. Very value for money. I think certainly one of the most value for money enduro bikes in the market. Geometry wise, what we're looking at, you know, you can see the steepness of the seat tube, 80 degrees, 64 degree head angle. Definitely feel that on the descents and more so on the climbs. The length of the seat, the length of the chainstay is 440, so I definitely find it a little bit harder to manual the bike in this regard. Wheeling is not so much a problem, but I haven't really gotten the hang of manualing yet, so I'm only 3 rides in. So so let's take this for a back-to-back ride with my 150 over there. Very similar purpose it was built for enduro racing. This is only about 11 millimeters longer in rear travel. The front travel is still the same. If you want to have a bit of a deeper dive into the geometry of these two bikes, you can actually check out the link in the description below, where we look at the Geometry Geeks chart, and you can just click on the geometry for the Privateer 161 and the geometry for the SB150, and you can kind of see the numbers, and you can even input the geometry for your own bike, so you can compare how your bike stacks up against the geometry of the Privateer that you're riding right now. So without much further ado, let's go for a back-to-back test, and I'll give you a bit more thoughts about how this bike actually rides, and what a great place to do the test on, which is none other than Kent Ridge downhill trail. Let's give it a spin, shall we? I wasn't exactly right about going to the downhill line. We're going to go partially on the cross-country line today. I got 2 friends here with me. And actually the cross-country line is just where there's an extra bit of challenge for this particular bike. You know, it's definitely some steep technical climbs. Yeah. Let's see how this bike climbs up the routes. Guys, I think we have perfect hero dirt conditions today. Whoa, that's a bit of an gnarly cut. So we're just rolling down this trail smooth like here. You're keen to see how the bike performs when it picks up speed though. So this is the first technical, like really technical climb. Yeah, I'll just go straight down the middle. Yes!
Not bad. Right on.
For a long bike. So have you been there to do this line already? Just now?
I think you go first.
Okay lah. Okay, I'll follow. Okay, I'll follow Benny.
Okay.
Okay, I don't think you guys have seen this line on the videos before. So very interesting. You can see that it's nice and loose. Very British conditions. You can see the steepness of this line just through here. So this bike just plows straight ahead. Definitely this is a straight line kind of machine. We're just coming to a more technical descent here now. Oh, they blocked it up.
No, I like to go this way.
Oh no, but I was saying like the outside line where they blocked it, they blocked it up just there, yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, shit, I add into that shoot, man.
Yeah.
Okay, just come down this way, yeah. So just my first thoughts on this bike on the new Super D line we just tried. This bike likes to run, man, and it's perfect in the very loose, loamy conditions we have now. It's just drying up through here, so we have hero dirt, a layer of loose leaves and loose dirt over the hard pack. I find the tires are very shining here. We haven't gone like top speed yet. We might try a little bit higher speeds on the downhill trail proper later. So let's try this line again with the Yeti this time. Okay, see how that goes. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna climb up the hill. So just a little bit on how this bike climbs. And definitely sitting on the nose of the seat here. Leg extension, alright. Not particularly nosing the seat post, the seat down when the bike is neutral. 80-degree seat angle, yo.
Wow. The seat angle actually makes the climb very good. Prevents the front wheel from wheeling.
And Benny's having a turn on the 161.
It's very easy.
I think the seat angle definitely helps.
Yeah, face a big club,
So your weight is biased forward.
Seat angle at how many degrees?
80 degrees.
Oh my god.
Now it's very well behaved climber.
Very controls the front very well.
Yeah. Okay, here we are on the SB150. The go-to bike, the familiar bike. It's 1 kilo lighter at 15.3 kilos versus 16.2 for the privateer. This is going to accelerate into the climb.
Then roll.
Yeah. You can either use brute force or you can just lift the rear wheel a bit. Be fine. So here we are again. Super D. Is the Yeti a little bit more playful than the privateer? Shit! Definitely can stop on a dime. Sorry. Okay. You okay there, bro? Yeah. Yeah, sure.
It's like in Canada, man. Canada? Yeah.
It's like those super steep lines which are a bit unsustainable, that kind. It's like, yeah, water bottle drop. Wait, slow. Water bottle, pass me. Okay. On the outside. I think the Yeti turns a little bit better, just through here. Yes! Woo! That was a bit sketchy on that time, that gap. It's a bit slower. Yeti, ever reliable. Just look far, like what you did earlier. Look far, look at the exit. Keep rolling, yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, boy! Yes! Yes! Nice, man. Shit, that's good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
See.
Nice. Good. Okay. Slightly slacker seat tube angle for this Yeti SB150. You know what? It's getting up the hill just fine. So we're gonna jump back on the 161 now. We'll hit the DH line. Let's see how a flow trail feels with the 161. And then we'll jump back on the Yeti again for a 4th lap. And I'll give you my thoughts as I go along. Okay, locked up the Yeti, back on the privateer 161. Let's hit the downhill line. Okay, I go first in that case. Okay, here we go. Holy shit! Oh my goodness! This bike just wants to run, man! Hey! Very composed in the air. Yeah, that was good. Woo! Such a good run. Those corners, those last few corners were a bit tight through there. But when I hit the jump, first thoughts when I hit the jump with this bike, very stable. I wasn't squirrely on the takeoff or the landing. So good times. Let's wait for the others. Super janky, man, here. Okay. So these guys want us to roll down here, okay, I guess.
Yeah, this way like that.
Okay, lor. But I'm gonna start from there. Thank you very much. Okay, gonna roll down this fella here. Quite controlled. I wasn't doing anything silly there. Very composed on the steep section. Okay, good. Okay, roll past the rut, Yes! Oh yeah. Yeah. Alright, let's climb out of here. It's okay. We'll wait for you at the exit. And we push this bike up again and we'll do another comparison run on the SB150.
What's the largest pocket size?
I think this one is a 51. So it's a 3251 gear. Riding the SB150. Okay. Let's do your level best. Oh yes! Ow! Yes! It's so nice! I'm feeling more planted on this bike. I feel the suspension is set up properly for this bike. compared to the privateer. The privateer is a bit stiff. Oh! This pumping section here. Just pumping to generate speed. Yeah, and there goes Benny. Woo! Hi, Benny. Woo! Oh yeah! I thought this bike was a little bit more playful. I think the privateer loses out in the direction change department. This one still has a I think a more balanced feel in terms of like responsiveness. But you know, the privateer has its merits as well. So we'll go back at the top and have another look at the privateer. And just summarize what we've learned about the bike today.
Oh, the end! Whoa!
I think you caught it on the camera. We'll have a look at it later. Yeah, it's pretty sick, man.
Wow, Lani! And boom! Damn high, bro!
I wish I could whip like this guy, and seriously, even on this bike.
God.
My initial thoughts about the bike that we've ridden today, the Privateer 161. I'm just climbing my own bike back up the hill now. Definitely we feel the weight of the slightly heavier bike at 16.2 kilos. The Privateer was never meant to be a racer going uphill. It's meant to be a racer on enduro trails going downhill. So anyway, let's have a closer look at the Privateer 161 back up the top once you finish this last climb. So that concludes the demo ride of the Privateer 161 I have here. If you like this particular demo ride and you'd like to see more such rides, please suggest down in the comment section below what exotic bike we should do a bike check on next. Okay, we're all about the exotic bikes here. This is certainly an exotic bike. For my knowledge, the only one in Singapore at the moment. If you're a subscriber already, thanks very much for doing so. Give this video a thumbs up if you like. And please stay tuned for more such exotic bike checks. Alright, I'm signing off. I want to have a clean of this bike right now, so I'll leave you guys to it. Thanks very much for watching. I'll catch you next time.